Hello everyone, my name is Jordy and you're welcome to New Believers School. I'll be taking you through chapter 5. What kind of people will be in hell? What kind of people will be in hell? So now the who's who in any community speaks of the outstanding or influential people in that community, profession or group. Now we want to know who the outstanding personalities in the community of hell would be. In other words, who exactly is going to hell? Now let's look at number 1. Many rich people will be in hell. Many rich people will be in hell. The rich man also died and was buried, and in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. This is from Luke chapter 16, verses 22 to 23. Now Christ died to save us from perishing in hell. And hell is a place made intolerable by the people that are there. It's this intolerable nature of hell, created by the presence of the most evil men who have ever lived, which include evil spirits, the false prophets, the dragon, and fallen angels. Now there's a story here about the fake politician. There was a politician who went to jail, and unfortunately, he couldn't bear the prison. He couldn't bear the prison that he was in. So he feigned sickness and decided to be paying thousands of dollars to be staying in the hospital whilst he was sick. But unfortunately for him, his money started to run out. And he was afraid that he would have to go back to the prison to face the people that were there. Hopefully, this rich man would serve his sentence and come out of prison. But there's a prison that you can never climb out of, and that is hell. And that's also the fate of many rich men who descend into hell with no chance of parole. Now let's look at number 2. Wicked people will be in hell. Wicked people will be in hell. And in Psalms chapter 9 verses 17, it says, "The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God." And we have a story here, the frightened prisoner. And it says, "One day after preaching, a man walked up to me and introduced himself as an ex-convict. He described how he had been in prison for the past 15 years. As he talked with me, I realized how nervous and edgy he was, casting furtive glances across his shoulder every few seconds. At a point, I asked him what was wrong. He apologized for his unusually restless and jumpy attitude and explained, 'I'm always scared because I think somebody is going to attack me from behind. I was 20 years old when I went to prison, and I'm now 35 years old.' He went on, 'In jail there are so many murderers and rapists. You're always in danger of being attacked from behind. This is what makes prison frightening.' I began to understand what it means to be in a prison. I even understood more what it meant to go to hell and be caged in with frightening characters like witches, wizards, and murderers. So hell is definitely a place to avoid." Now let's look at number 3, the kind of people that will be in hell. People who forget God and those who do not acknowledge God will be in hell. And the same Psalm 9 verse 17, "The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God." There are many people that have put God out of their lives and their careers. They have forgotten that there's a God somewhere. Many people in Europe believe that there is no God. They do not believe in God. They do not pray to God. And they don't even go to church anymore. They may do good deeds and finance charities and other humanitarian programs, but they will be turned into hell because they have forgotten that there is a God. It is a fool that says in his heart that there is no God. You'll notice how some politicians do not acknowledge God in their victories. They will acknowledge their wife, they will acknowledge their children, they'll even acknowledge their pets, their cats and dogs, but they will not acknowledge God. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. This is from Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. And if we read the book of Romans chapter 1, verses 28 to 32, it talks about how they did not see fit to acknowledge God any longer, so he gave them over to a depraved mind to do that which is not proper, and they were filled with so many evil things: unrighteousness, wickedness, greed, evil, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, malice. They were gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, arrogant, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, without understanding, untrustworthy, unloving, unmerciful. And although they know the ordinance of God, that those who practice such things are worthy of death, they not only do the same, but also give hearty approval to those who practice them. Wow, hell is definitely a place to avoid if all these people are going to be there. Now, number 4, the pompous, the mighty, and the proud, the chief ones of the earth, will be in hell. I'll take that again. The pompous, the mighty, and proud, and the chief ones of the earth will be in hell. Now, in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9 to 11, it says, "Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee." Well, the big shots of the earth, the high and mighty, the proud people, those who lift themselves above others and look down on others, they will be in the dark spaces of hell. And the Bible says this in the book of Isaiah. It describes how their ostentation and showiness will be brought down to nothing. Unfortunately, this will be the portion of the glamorous and flamboyant peoples of the earth. Now, number 5, the beast will be in hell. The beast will be in hell. Revelation chapter 19 verse 20 says, "And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone." Now the beast, who is the Antichrist and the most evil man that ever lived, will be among the community in hell. He will have his place there forever, and all those who go to hell will have to contend with him. You definitely do not want to be in hell with the most evil man to ever live, the beast. Now, number 6, the false prophet will be in hell. The false prophet will be in hell. Again, Revelations 19:20, "And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him." So now the false prophet can be likened to the spiritual wizard of the Antichrist, who will also be in hell. This evil man, whose spiritual charms, enchantments, and spells are used to empower the Antichrist, will also be in hell. And finally, number 7, the devil himself will be in hell. The devil himself. And Revelations 20:10 says, "And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever." So finally, another person who will be in the community of hell is the devil himself. All those who have been afraid of demons and devils and ghosts will have to deal with the devil himself in the misty darkness of the underworld. The devil himself will be one of the most prominent and important members in the community of hell. So hell is definitely a place you must avoid at all costs. Avoid it at all costs. And this brings us to the end of chapter 5. Thank you for watching, and stay with us as we move on to chapter 6. Thank you.